till Imran Khan can be marginalized from politics, there will be no elections because actually, I don't know if Imtiaz and Wajahat would agree, but the feedback is if there was a free and fair election, then Mr. Khan would win. My question then is that for a Pakistan that was described as post coup, at least on the surface, is this martial law by another name? Can we unmute General Saab?
If I
Go
may
ahead, sir.
introduce an element of something different in this. I am not in consensus here. You have declared that prematurely, right?
Sorry.
I'm not in
Yeah.
consensus here. And I'm not
Yeah.
in agreement with General Shukla either. Because
Okay.
I don't think you have even gone halfway of what is going to happen in Pakistan. Right? I think you're assuming a little too much. And that in 10 days' time, it's exactly 10 days since 9th of May, that everything seems to have come to a boil and everything will settle down hereafter with Imran having been removed. No. Pakistan is used to chaos. There is tremendous history of chaos in Pakistan. I take you back. Imran Saab, probably anyone who remembers, go back to 68, 69, 70, at the time when Ayub Khan was under pressure. I still remember as a student, a young student of geopolitics, that time I was studying it and looking at the chaos on the streets of Pakistan. Ultimately, the army came in again. There was a coup. There was a coup within a coup, and Yahya Khan came to power. Now, I think at the moment it's premature for us to say that Asim Munir has won this battle. First of all, Asim Munir seems to me to be the weakest army chief I've seen in Pakistan in a long time. We have seen chiefs, very, very strong chiefs in Pakistan. Asim Munir is nowhere near, and neither in personality, neither in reputation, neither in capability.
So you don't think it's game up, General
I don't see
Hassan?
this ending anywhere at the moment. You see, you are making a martyr out of, they're making a martyr out of him. And if they step beyond this, if by any chance they try and eliminate him or whatever, that's what we are hearing also, all kinds of things, you're going to make a martyr out of him, right? Besides that, you see the kind of chaos which has happened on the streets. We don't know whether this is all contrived by the army itself or is actually a natural thing which has happened. Barka, I ask you, can a mob come to my house in Chinar house in Barka in Badami Bagh? Can you think of korma from my fridge being taken away?
Not possible.
I mean, what are they talking? Let's look at Pakistan and see the innards of how is Pakistan functioning. You got to tell these stories to children. If you think that this is the kind of public relations and effort and cognitive warfare you're trying out against everyone, these are stories. The army is trying to spin things around, but is getting stuck in its own spin as such.
I think
you're seeing the beginning of much more chaos in Pakistan than what we can even imagine.
Very interesting, very vocal, very coherent point of disagreement there. And I have to agree with you. I can't imagine getting into a corps commander's residence or official premises, not even to the outer gate, without, in the way that these crowds were able to. And these crowds weren't that big. They could have been managed. So you raise an interesting point there. I want the panel to respond to what General Hassan has raised. Yes, Wajahat, I see your hand going up. Then General Shukla, and then I'll come to Imtiaz and Meher. Also, an interesting question coming in from our Mojo member. Can I bring up the question? What is the equation now between the Supreme Court and Pakistan's military now that the military has circumnavigated the Supreme Court by charging protesters under military law? Great question. Wajahat, go ahead.
I can take that question, but before that, I'm going to be a good old trooper and try to navigate between the two Indian generals. I think they're both right, and I think they're both wrong. And bear with me to General Shukla's point about Kabuliyat. Sir, Kabuliyat versus Maqbuliyat, I get your point. Popularity versus legitimacy. In this system, in most systems, legitimacy comes after popularity, and it only comes after a process of voting. That hasn't happened, and unfortunately the legitimacy in Pakistan, the litmus test of legitimacy is not voting. It's a green light from general headquarters, from the army, and that's where I think there's a serious misread. Also, I did take Barka's advice and followed you on Twitter and saw you dabble in Urdu Shayari as well. And there's a tweet of yours I'm going to read to you and then challenge you to it, that for the Pak Army, the failed wild romance with Imran, these lines may provide some solace. Zakhmi Hue jo Honth, to mahsoos hua ye, chooma tha hamne phool ko, kis deewangee ke saath. I like it. I know what you're saying, but there is an inherent misread here in the army's perception, in the army's read of Khan. Yes, as Imtiaz Saab explained, they've done this before. They've created Bhutto and then hung him. They've created Nawaz and then exiled him.